So yes, so this is my quote. I choose not to run in the race, but to create my own space. And what is Unschooled Year? Because the name of my book is My Unschooled Year, but what is Unschooled Year? So after grade 10, I took a year break and I was into the stock market, doing internships. Then I met a lot of people. I attended conferences. So during that 1 year break, I unschooled myself. So that is why it's called My Unschooled Year. So when did this happen? It happened after grade 10 when I was 14 years old. So it's been about 6 years. And why did this happen? Because these are the common questions that I get regarding the book and regarding me. So why did I do it? Because after 10th, I had to choose a career path like commerce, psychology, or biology. So I didn't know what to choose, and I was actually ready to learn. That is one thing that I'd say. At 14, I was ready to learn, I was ready to explore. And when we had a parent children meeting in the dining table, we thought that we could just do this unschooled year, take a year break and explore. Ma'am, are you recording the video, or shall I?
Yes, it is recording.
Great. Because I will need the recording later, because
Yes,
I have
I should submit this session details to AICTE. So
Can
that
I
all
get the
sessions we are
recording
recording.
later?
Yes, ma'am?
Can I get the recording later?
Yes, after converting, we will send to all.
Sure, thank you so much.
All participants and all resource person I will send.
Because I'll watch it and I'll tell myself if I did it properly, or if I spoke something rubbish. So just clarify. Okay.
Yes.
So yes. Oh, now there are 23 participants. Great. So yes, that's why I did this My Unschooled Year project experiment actually. Then before 10, I had a happy childhood. I was a playful, joyful kid. Like you would have heard that children has three types of learning capability. Like it's auditory, visual, and kinesthetic. So auditory children, they learn listening. Visual children, I mean, it can be people also. They learn by looking at pictures and looking at presentations. But I was a kinesthetic kid, which my parents found out when I was young. So a kinesthetic child is, of course, a person who uses. No, if you teach me electricity, then it is hard for me. Ma'am, do you mind muting? Ma'am, do you mind? Ma'am, do you mind muting yourself? Can you please mute? Yeah, thank you. Because there's a lot of noise behind. So yes, I was a kinesthetic child where all that I had was hands-on experience. So if you talk to me about electricity, then talking to me about electricity, it's better if you could give me some wires and batteries and potatoes to do the experiment. Or if you talk to me about CS and AI and ML, it's better if you give me a computer and tell me to type and tell me to do a project, rather than giving me a theoretical knowledge of it, which my most of my teachers did not understand, of course. It's because I won't blame the teachers, but I can blame the education system maybe. Before I start saying something, I should have told this earlier, that I know you are teachers and professors, and I don't want you to question me like, so you've learned this and what does this mean. As I told you, it happened like 5-6 years back, and the things I remember and recollect, I'm sharing it with you. If there are a lot of technicalities in it, you can maybe message me, I'll read it again and I can let you know what it is about. But suddenly I can't give you all the answers. But yes, something philosophical, I can try to give you that. So yes, so I was a happy child, and this child had no distractions, and this child was full of distractions, only playing, dancing, and traveling all the time. But then this child was not serious about studies, was not serious about exams, was not serious about marks. But then what happened? Of course, family, teachers, 10th board exam occurred. So family and teachers, they were like, if only you get good marks in 10th, then you'll get a good school for 11th and 12th, because my school only had till 10th. And then only if you get good marks in 12th, then you'll get a good college. Only good college, then good place to work. Only good place to work, then you'll get a good husband, and it goes on. But I had to put a break on it. Yes, of course, I studied for the 10th exam. Like for the past 2 months, I dusted my books, took all the spider webs on it, and then I sat and I studied. I got 8.2. That was my score. But okay, I'm looking at my face. I have to look at the camera. Yeah, so right here. So yes, I got 8.2, and I got a little serious about life at that time because of all those advices that I got, and I wanted to grow. I wanted to learn more, and that's when I took the year break. So during the year break, this is a chart that we had put. So this is a discipline chart where uh, the one thing that is really required for any person to be successful is, of course, discipline and dedication. So that was the first step that we took. Like, of course, with my parents helped me, because being a 14-year-old kid, 14-year-old kid won't know everything. So the parent support is a must. Even a teacher's support would be great. So this is the chart that I had. 7 to 8 I had to exercise, 8:15 to 9 GK, newspaper, vocabulary. It's because I loved computers, and it's because I loved badminton, and I um, I loved money. So the stock market experience, the computer class, badminton were all included in it. But other than that, there were some really important stuffs that I had to learn, like health. So I had to exercise. And then there's selling products. So I used to sell MLM products, and that's something that I had to learn, because MLM products help anyone to communicate and handle customers. So that's one thing that I did. And a lot of people ask me if I had if if no, I didn't go to school, so did I learn something at home, or was I sitting idle? That's one thing that a lot of people ask me. So there's the answer. 6 to 9:30 I used to study maths, physics, and chemistry. And the reading was something that I did not want to happen when I was a child, because now I used to scold my parents. You could have made me sit and made me read some books, but they tell me that no, I wouldn't sit, and it's not my cup of tea. So, but during the 10th break, during my Unskooled year break, it was a must habit to read 10 pages of a book every day. And I'll show you the books that I read later during that 1 year break. So my acronym is CHIPS, and this CHIPS is what I did during that 1 year break. C stands for conference. So conference is something that is vital, because conference is where the networking starts. Network decides your net worth, and there are quotes like you know don't work fools work, but smart people network. So conference is the place where we network. And so, for example, like you're attending a conference right now, and you might be networking with me later. So this is where I network with celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, scientists, and bureaucrats. So I'll be showing their pictures also. Let me check if there. No, it's not there, but I'll be showing the pictures later. So yes, this is a place where we not only network, but I also learned a lot of things. Like, for example, that's where I heard the word called the VUCA world. VUCA world is trending right now, but 5-6 years back, it's in a conference where I heard that word first. So VUCA is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguous. So that's that's a complex word. So yes, that's where I learned it. So conference is not only a place where networking happens, but where we can see what happens in the future, and what is what is happening in the world right now, because the CEOs and top entrepreneurs are on this stage sharing their experience with us. So yes, like I want some interaction, so I would like to ask a question, as you're all teachers, and you have taken me as your student or a daughter, so I'm not your teacher, of course. So yes, I would like to ask you a question that will going to a conference help a student? So yes, I'll be looking at the chat box. Where's the chat box? Yes, I'm looking at it right now. I disconnected, please share. Okay, so yes, is anyone there out there? Hello. Yes, I want you to put it in the chat box. Do you think a conference would help a student or a teenager to grow, to learn? Say yes or no, or how it will help, or why it helps. Like, because of course you are all with students all the time, and I know that you care for their growth. So yes, that's the reason I'm asking this question. Oh yes, Dr. PP Kaliappan has said 100%, 101% yes. And Indra Priyadarshini, yes, they would receive the comments. So yes, oh, doctor has said 101% yes. I will take that as, I will be really grateful. I'm really grateful to you for the answer that you have given. So yes, yes, it of course helps, because I think that's the place where we start learning and growing. That's the phase. For example, take yourself. Now you must be around you can be 25, 30, 40, 50, or some professors are like 60, 70 plus, and I know you're doing a great job. But what if you had gone through this experience when you were around 15 or 16 years old, or when you were 18, 19 years old? What if you had the experience of networking with CEOs and learning from them, knowing the future when you were 18, 19, 20? Wouldn't that be amazing? And of course, as Dr. P.P. Kalyappan sir said, yes, it is of course important for anybody to learn. If they're ready to learn, then I think this would be the first place to do. Yes, conference makes good interaction with everyone. Dr. Lavanya has said that, and it narrates the concept of interaction. Of course, yes, now I'm super excited. I know all of you are listening. Yes, okay, now I'm not going to sleep. So the next one is health. Health is of course really important. Of course, health is something that pumps me up. For example, if I have this amount of energy, it's because I'm going to the gym, and I'm pumping up every day, lifting weights and running 10Ks and 15Ks. And that's the reason I have this amount of energy, which doesn't come if I don't go to the gym. Then tomorrow I'll be like, okay, so today I'm going to talk about, yeah, that's how I'll be like. But as this health pumps me up, as the dopamine increases, endorphins, the dose, yes, serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, it increases, it pumps up in the body, and health is important for that. So during that 1 year break, I started going to the gym, I started dancing, playing badminton, as I told you earlier. So yes, those are the things that I did. Yes, I'm Cisco certified professional. I knew the importance of networking and subnetting. Oh my God, a Cisco certified professional, Dr. Kaliappan is here, and I'm nowhere near him. Maybe he can teach me later on all this. That's great, sir. Glad to meet you and interact with you over here. Then I stands for industry. So in that 1 year break, I interned in a dozen industries. Like for example, I went to the natural salon. I was in the I was in a primary school where for like 2 weeks I was with the kids, and I learned how they make syllabus, and how they teach, how they how they hire teachers. So that's what I learned there. And I was into Ashtanga Ayurveda for a couple of weeks. And then I went to Ashok Leyland. And these were the different places where I interned for a couple of weeks. Also the AGI hospital. So it's not the same sector. It's not only schools. It's not only factories, but it's of different sectors. So please don't call me ma'am. I'm definitely younger than you. I guess. Yes. You can all call me Sagarikka, or you can call me Pappu, because my parents used to call me Pappu, Chiku. So yes, as you are all like my elder brothers, elder sisters, or maybe like even like parents, you can yes, you can call me informally also. I don't mind. So yes, this is what I learned at Hotel Ramya's. I also interned in Hotel Ramya's for a couple of weeks, where I learned about the 5S system that they have been following. 5S system is nothing but, just a second. So 5S system is methodology where they keep the workplace clean and safe. So it's called the 5S stands for sort, systemize, sweep, sanitize, and self-discipline. It's for being well organized and to reduce waste and optimize productivity. So that's the reason behind the 5S system which they are following, which was quite impressive because it's in Trichy, and I didn't know people in Trichy follow these kind of management systems or organizational systems. So yes, and then I learned about ABC analysis. I learned about economic order quantity in AGI hospital. I learned about the queuing theory because they get about hundreds and hundreds of patients every day, but how do they queue each one of them? So yes, that's how I learned about the queuing theory, the inventory control. In Ashtanga Ayurveda, I learned about the cost accounting, that how they how they how do they fix the MRP for a product. Because for example, if I take this glue, it consists of some water and something else, but how do they fix it? Like it should be 20 rupees because there's logistics behind it, there's raw materials, there's this the the thing that covers the bottle. So there's production for that also. So how do they fix the cost for it? So that's what I learned there. And then there's lean management that I learned in Danfoss. So in lean management, how do they segregate waste and what are the kinds of waste they get? So these are things. So as I told you, please don't ask me a very detailed question about all this. This is what I remember for now, but if I read about it again, then I'll remember more about it. So yeah, P stands for projects. So while doing so the projects that I did was, there's some noise behind me. I think there's some construction work going on. If it disturbs you, I'm extremely sorry, and I can't talk to them also. Yeah. So I know you'll understand. So yes, for the projects, I trekked to two places. One was Kailash with my parents, and the other one was Leh without my parents, with a set of with a group of trekkers. So I made a documentary on both these places. It's on my YouTube, and I can share you the link later when I finish the talk. So it's on my YouTube. My YouTube ID name is the Unschooled Sagarikka. And by the way, Unschooled is pronounced as Unskooled. I wanted to pronounce differently, and that's the reason I called it Unschooled. But later I came to know that that's the spelling in German, and that's the real word for school. That's cool. So yes, not only making documentaries, I went to the that was when there was storm and rains, and we went to Kadalur donating food. And I also made my own website. I had a blog site called sagarikka.wordpress.com, and I don't think I still have it, but don't worry, those blogs, I have compiled those blogs and made it into this book. So the blogs contain what all I did during this 1 year break. So if you, for example, yes, the big business experience that I had, and what all I learned, as I told you, the internships that I did. And then there's meeting people. What are the different kinds of people whom I met? I met a judge who gave a death sentence, and yes, I also went to the Bangalore High Court when I was in that unschooled year break, and that experience is also given over here. And then what are the books that I read and what I learned from those books, and how did health help me, and what I learned in computing. So these are the things that I have written in my book. So yes, and the foreword is given by Suma Varghese, who is the editor of the Life Positive magazine, one of the best magazines in India, spiritual magazines, I suppose. And the other foreword was given by Sultan Ahmed Ismail, who is a biologist. You might have heard of him. So yes, maybe you can check out that later. And it would be great if you could buy my book and share it with your students, because I know that you really want your students to grow and learn and expand their knowledge. That too, being in the CS department and AI department, when into artificial intelligence and computer science, we are the ones who are thinking about, you are the ones who are thinking about the future and how future looks like. You know about that, and I know that you will definitely accept my book. And then coming back to my presentation, so I made my own website. I created a YouTube channel. I was not consistent enough, but I just wanted to try it out. One thing that I learned from this unschooled year is trying out everything. So trying out good stuff, like everything: travel, making a website, creating a YouTube channel. How does it feel like to do something like that? How does it feel like to have an Instagram account? How does it feel like to write a blog? How does it feel like to create a website on my own? How does it feel like to have a visiting card designed by me? So yes, I do have a visiting card. So yeah, I don't have it with me right now, I think. So yeah, I don't have it with me right now. So I have a visiting card. So these are the things a 14-year-old girl did out of school. And then S stands for studies, where everything was practical. And I used to study with my father. We read books, not only books, we also studied maths, physics, and chemistry. Biology, I'm not really in favor of that subject, so I skipped it. But maths, physics, and chemistry, I really didn't I didn't really lean towards it during the school, but I started liking it when my father started teaching me by experimenting everything. Like, for example, chemistry, titration. I really didn't know what I did when I was in 10th, but then we did it together. Then the formula PV equal to nRT, I still remember it because we used two balloons, and there's this P pressure, V volume equal to nRT. So as the volume increases, the temperature increases, the volume increases. So we put one balloon into the freezer and the other balloon into the bucket with filled with hot water, and we came to know that when the temperature increases, the volume of the balloon increases, and then when the temperature decreases, the volume of the balloon decreases. That's how I learned it. We also visited the Vishwesvaraya Museum for a day and saw how beautiful it looks. Of course, I've written about the toilets in the Vishwesvaraya Museum also in my book. You can check it out, because that was the part that no one liked. We didn't like, not the readers. The readers found it funny, but yes. So these are the books that I read during that 1-year break. The High Performance Entrepreneur by Subrata Bakshi was the first book that I read. The High Performance Entrepreneur and The Winning by Jack Welch are kind of similar books, where they talk about the vision, mission, value statements of, how to create a vision, mission, value statements of a company, DNA structure of the company, how to hire people, how to sack people, and what should be done when there is a problem in the company. So that's what these books talk about. And then Follow Every Rainbow by Rashmi Bansal talks about the women entrepreneurs. Like, I think there are dozens of women entrepreneur stories in that book. So she talks about how they turn from rags to riches in the book. And Positioning talks about how they position the product. For example, just take for example, what is that one soap that you get in mind? As soon as I say soap, what is the product that comes to your mind? Yeah, okay, keep that in your mind. But the thing I want to tell is that soap company has positioned in your mind. That soap company has just sat in is just sitting right now. Even right now, they are sitting in the corner of in some corner of your mind. So they have positioned themselves. So that's a book that I read. And of course, Experiments with Truth by Gandhiji. Then there's Blue Ocean Strategy, which is referred to the market for product where a market where there is no competition or very less competition. That's what the Blue Ocean Strategy talks about. For example, if you take my market, the Unschooled market, no one has done it before, and that's a Blue Ocean Strategy. So that's how I can market myself. So that's something no one has done before, and there is no competition for it. So yes, that's my Blue Ocean Strategy. That's given in the book. And then Outliers is, so these are the books that they're not fiction books, of course, but these are the kind of books that I read during that 1 year break. It's business and it's non-fiction, and there's Eat That Frog about procrastination. And this is my current list where I have read this book. I mean, I've completed Hook, and then I started reading the Neil deGrasse Tyson's book, but I did not really enjoy it. So yeah, I closed it. And yeah. So yes, I really did not enjoy that book. But if you see over here, most of the books are based on investing. There's science, there's motivation, there's autobiography, there's, yeah, that's what is there. There's literature also. So these are the kind of books that I usually prefer rather than fiction books. Of course, they say fiction books helps us in creativity, but I think these books also do, because these books talk about the future. So yes, what happened after that? After the 1 year break, so I told you that my acronym shifts: conference, health, industries, product, projects, and studies. So these are the things that I did during that 1 year break. But what happened after that? So yes, then let me give a BGM to it. So I wrote this Unschooled year right after. So during that 1 year break, I also attended a conference in Chennai. It's called the Hindu Literary Festival. It happens once in a year, and it's during the Pongal time. It happens in Chennai, Jaipur, and all. But during the Pongal time, it happens in Chennai, where I met a lot of authors. And this is not the place, but where I met a lot of authors, and where one author told me, I think I have his picture, just a second. Yeah, this person, can you see? So this person, he told me, I mean, he told the audience that he writes about 5,000 words every day, which means in a week he completes a book. And I thought, okay, I used to write blogs, and I used to write at least 150 words a day for almost every day, and it would have added up to 30,000 words maybe. And why not I make it into a book? So this is a thought that I had, my parents had, and then we just compiled all the blogs and made it into a book. And then I started selling the books, and a lot of people were interested. A lot of principals, a lot of school teachers, a lot of people were interested. And in these 5 years, I have sold more than 6,000 books, which is a great number actually for authors. So yes, I've sold more than 6,000 books. And not only that, I'm into investing and trading. Even right now, I'm doing that. Yeah. And then I was doing vermicomposting because I wanted to try something different and help my plants grow or sell that vermicompost to. So as I told you, there's this Ashtanga Ayurvedas. I wanted to actually sell it to them, but then it failed. But it's okay. I tried, which was a great job. Then of course photography, which I like. I've got 2 cameras, and yes, one is a video camera and one is a photo camera. Then this experience, my unschooled experience, helped me a lot because later, oh, so great to hear about photography. Thank you, sir. What about the rest? So, okay, thank you so much, sir. So yes, after the 1 year break, I again continued doing my schooling. I went to the 11th. That's when I attended the Mamaria contest and some science contest, and I won all the prizes. I just grabbed them. So in this Mamaria contest, I was the only one who went from my school, and I won. I just grabbed, I think 3-4 prizes, got all first prize, which I haven't got before. Before I used to get it for dance and playing and for sports, but yes, for such highly mentally what's that brainy contest. So that's where I got it. And yes, of course, during 11th, I think during 12th, I got the best sports woman, best sports girl award because I got so many certificates and prizes. Then yes, one was about earning. The next one is about the emotional intelligence that I got after, due to that 1 year break. One was by selling the MLM products, where let me tell you that story. So people used to kick me out, and when I went to one lawyer's house, and that lawyer told me that, don't you have any other work to do? You're just 14 years old and you're selling MLM products. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with your parents? So that's what he said. And then I explained to him about all the products. I came home silently and I started crying, and my parents were laughing at me. And that's when I started gaining my emotional maturity. It was not only that one person. Every day, almost every day, I used to meet 1 or 2 people, and most of them used to kick me out. And that's when I learned to communicate, to handle challenges. And I learned that if I go to 10 people, at least 1 or 2 would definitely buy the product. So if I have to make 10 people buy the product, then I have to go to 100 people to, I have to approach 100 people. So that's one thing that I learned. And then the next picture tells about the accident that we had while traveling from Bangalore to Chennai. It happened in Hosur, where a biker, he just where he just went in front of us, and my father, he got scared and that he would hit the bike, but that guy escaped, and he turned the car and the car flew, skid, and bam, it got dropped. Dropped hard on the road, and my parents were unconscious, and I thought my dad was dead at that time because he was unconscious and he did not wake up at all. But then I handled the police. I mean, opening the car itself was a difficulty, but then later I spoke to the people around me. I was again 14 at that time. I think it was during that 1 year break, during the end of the 1 year break. So I spoke to the people around me, and then I handled the police. I handled the hospital things, the ambulances, and then I made them tow the car to the showroom, and then signed whatever formalities has to be done, did it, because my parents were unconscious and they could not do anything at that time. And then I took them back to home safely. I took them back to Bangalore safely. So that I have to say that it is only because of that 1 year break I had this emotional maturity. It's like do or die situation. If I had not done this unschooled year break, and if I had not learned about, I mean, if I had not had these experiences, then it would have been difficult for me to go through this kind of situations. So then the third one was the experience, which I told you, the projects that I did, from which I gathered a lot of value. So I can tell that the projects that I did were all value addition to me. Like right now, people are saying that they're YouTubers or they're bloggers or they're website designers and like web developers and web designers. So this is what they say, or digital marketers. But that's what I learned when I was 14 years old, and now I can add it to my resume. It's a value addition to me. But I think there's like something more important that I can add rather than this, because these are kind of simpler stuffs that I can say. Okay. I'm getting, yeah. So the next one, sorry, it's number 4. So it's nothing but networking. So I wanted to show you these pictures earlier. So yes, we got it now. So this one is when we went to the HR summit, NASHCOM HR summit, and this is when I first gave my book. First when I saw Mr. Sashi Tharoor, then yeah, he is Mr. PC Bala, who wrote the Rajini's Panchatantra book, which contains Rajini's dialogues, and it became a massive hit. And these are the actors that I met during that 1 year break, or even later. Even in 11th, during 11th, after I released the book, I went as a speaker to a lot of forums. So till now, I've spoken in about 70-80 plus forums, and I've addressed more than 20,000 plus audiences. And yes, I've met these great people also. Yeah, they're actors. And then Shivakarthikeyan, I had a long chat with him about the book that I wrote and the experiences that I had, and what he could, like maybe he could add value to my life, I can say. So yes, I spoke to him for about 3 hours about that. And by the way, Shivakarthikeyan is my parents' student. He used to study here. He was in Trichy back then. So yes, he was a student of my parents. And yes, that's how I met him. Then I met great authors. Most of them during the Hindu Literary Festival. I met Vairamuthu, Sir Benny Dayal. Benny Dayal is not an author, but he's an artist. Yes. So yes, I met these great people. Also politicians. One more thing that I have to add over here is I am still in touch with most of them, because they should not forget me. I have met them once or twice, but then I should not forget them. So one experience, one value that helped me was to make that visiting card, which I gave it to all these people. I used to carry my visiting card like hundreds and hundreds of visiting cards with me, and I used to give it to them. When I share my visiting card with them, they share their information with me also. I mean, not secret information, but maybe their mail ID or something like that. So yes, that's how I be in touch with them. Mr. Sashi Tharoor, he tweeted about me the first time I met him, just saying that this girl has taken the untold, that is the path less taken, and he tweeted about me. And the next year when I met him again, I gave him the book, because he tweeted about the Unschooled year that I was going through. And the next year I gave him the book, and he tweeted about the book again, which was great about him. And then I met Kiran Bedi ma'am. So I just to the Kiran Bedi ma'am's story goes like this, where I just wanted to email her and to see if maybe she replies, and even if she doesn't reply, that's all right. But then what happened was I sent her a mail saying that I'm Sagarikka and I've written a book and I'd like to meet you. But then after a couple of days, she replied saying that that's great. No, come over to Pondicherry.
Sagarikka, one of participants has posted on stage. Amazing.
Oh, thank you. Dr. Lavanya, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It would be great if you could read the book, because the book contains like a lot of experiences, and each experience would amount to just 1 or 2 pages maximum. So yes, there's about 100 and 150 pages and maybe about 60 to 70 experiences that I've gone through. That's in the book. It would be great if you could read the book and give me a review about it. Thank you so much. Then the bureaucrats whom I met. So he was the one who shared the death sentence that he gave to one of the people there who made who murdered their family. So yes, he is Sanjay Baru, who was the PA of Manmohan Singh when he was the Prime Minister. You must have seen it in the Accidental Prime Minister movie. And these are the educationists and journalists whom I met. Everything about them is there in my book. He is Mr. C.K. Kumaravel, my best friend, my mentor actually. He is the co-founder of Natural Salon. His wife is the founder. So yes, they're the CEOs and founders of Natural Salon, which is all over which is spread all across India. So he is my mentor, like my godfather, and he is the one who taught me that networking is very, very important and what to do while we're talking to a great person. So that's when I started sharing my books with them and sharing my cards. Then these are the scientists. So he is the one who gave a forward for my book, Mr. Ismail, and he was into vermicomposting. He is Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. You must have heard about him. Out of all these people, these three people are my inspiration, I'd say. So yes, so it's Kiran Bedi ma'am, you know about her, I know. And then there's Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, who is the father of Green Revolution, and he is an Indian geneticist. So he works on genes. And then there's Krishnamurthy sir, who was the chairman and CEO of BHL, Maruti, SAIL, and GAIL. And he was the chairman of IIM Bangalore and IIT Delhi also. IIM Bangalore, Ahmedabad, and IIT Delhi. And they are my greatest inspiration. Yes, Dr. Kalyapan sir, I hope dedication you towards education. Yes, sir. And really nice. Thank you so much, sir. Yes. So this is a documentary that I made on junk food. So one of my friend, he passed away when he was 21 years old by eating a lot of junk food, a lot of parota actually, a lot of parota and chicken, the chicken 65s. He passed away, and by remembering him, I made this documentary. It's in Tamil with English subtitles. It's on YouTube, which you can watch. It's called Eat Fast, Die Young. It's reached almost 20,000 views on YouTube. And then, yes, after that, I became a speaker after all these experiences. So there's Patimandram. See, I've also shared stage with Patimandram Raja and Bharati Bhaskar. And I've spoken to HRs and entrepreneurs, and I'm also a Toastmaster. Toastmaster is a forum where we join to improve our speaking skills. It is helpful for any age group, like 18 plus, but 18 plus anybody can join Toastmasters, and it is a very helpful forum for us to improve our speaking ability. Then I gained popularity. I gained popularity by coming in articles, by the journalists. A lot of journalists interviewed me, and I've come in almost all the newspapers across Tamil Nadu and India. I've been a speaker in Infosys, and then I've also been on NDTV. I'm also an international speaker. I've spoken in a couple of countries, and then these are the articles that were published about me. And this is one thing that I really cherish, this picture. So Mr. Venkaiah Naidu, our vice president, he really liked the thought about my Unschooled year, and he called me and he asked me to come over to his house, and we discussed for a while about it, and he loved the idea. So yes, we took a picture. So one more aspect that I wanted to share is, take, for example, a raw material, which is iron. Iron can be molded into a nail or a pan, or it can be molded into a beautiful statue. It is us who should have that discipline, dedication, and the mentor to mold that iron, to help us mold that iron. I had my parents, and of course, as teachers, as maybe as a student or as your daughter, I can tell you that you are the ones who are molding the students, and of course you're molding yourself also. So it's in your hands if you're molding. Of course, I know that you're not molding them into iron or pan, you're molding them into statues, but yes, beautiful, you have to make more beautiful statues, not only just statues, but statues that worth millions and billions, and that's worth a higher amount. Yes. So it's not only during that one school, it's not only during my unschooled year that I learned stuffs, but even after my unschooled year, I'm still learning a lot of things. For example, during the COVID times, me and my mom took a challenge, 100-day drawing challenge, and this is the Instagram page where we did that challenge. And then my dad took a 30-day blogging challenge. We continuously learn and grow. And then yes, these are my Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn accounts IDs, so you can maybe take a note and follow me, or if you have any questions you can ask me there, or if you want any links or anything, you can just message me through this. Also, one more great thing I cherish is I have interacted with His Holiness Dalai Lama, and it was a virtual interaction because, of course, for due to COVID, I had an amazing interaction with him, and I think only 3 or 4 students were selected in India, and I was one of them. So yes, the screen stop sharing. Okay.